Syria's first post-Assad elections falter before they begin. Sweida, Hasaka, Raqqa, silent, absent, waiting for a safe environment. Young Kurds step into government ranks, hoping there to be no discrimination, while critics warn it's an irresponsible act. Meanwhile, Damascus plans a bold currency overhaul. Across security, identity and economy, Syria's new rulers navigate a fractured nation where hope and caution walk a fragile, uneasy path. Syria's new Islamist administration has hit its first major roadblock. The country's inaugural parliamentary election, scheduled for September, will exclude 3 provinces due to escalating security concerns. The southern province of Sweida, along with northern provinces Hasaka and Raqqa, will not participate in what was meant to be a defining moment for the post-Assad era. The decision comes after devastating clashes in July that claimed hundreds of lives in Sweida province. Druze fighters battled against Sunni Bedouin tribes and government forces in violence so severe that Israel intervened with airstrikes to prevent what it characterized as mass killings of Druze civilians by government forces. The Higher Committee for People's Assembly elections announced the delay would continue until a safe environment is established in these regions. Seats allocated to the 3 provinces will remain vacant until elections can be held there. Commission spokesperson Nawa Najmeh told state news agency SANA that
the elections are a sovereign matter that can only be conducted in areas fully under government control.
This setback reveals the fragile nature of Syria's transition. The Druze, a minority offshoot of Islam with followers across Syria, Lebanon and Israel, have found themselves at the center of long-standing tensions over land and resources in Sweida province. These communities now face an uncertain political future as the new government struggles to maintain control across its territory. In the northern district of Afrin, a different story is unfolding. Young Kurdish men and members of religious minorities are lining up to join Syria's general security forces in an area from which Kurds were forcibly displaced just years ago. This recruitment push represents the government's attempt to rebuild trust with communities increasingly wary of Damascus's new Sunni Muslim Islamist leadership. Abbas Mohammed Hamouda, a Kurdish Alawite, was among those signing up at a recruitment center in Afrin.
I came with young men from my district to join the new state. We will stand together, united, and avoid problems and wars from now on.
His words carry particular weight, given that Kurds in Afrin have been subjected to a lot over the past 8 years. The initiative follows recommendations from a UN-backed commission that investigated recent sectarian violence. The commission called for authorities to recruit from minority communities for a more diverse security force composition to improve community relations and trust. This comes after widespread reports of government-affiliated fighters killing and humiliating civilians from the Alawite and Druze sects. Some youngsters who also signed up expressed cautious optimism.
I have come hoping to be part of the Syrian army and for there to be no discrimination. We hope that the new government will be for all the people, for there will not be oppression like there was in the past.
Government official Ferhad Kurto reported that about 1,000 young men had signed up from all of its sects, colors, and doctrines. He described this as the first step in a broader strategy for the Sons of Afrin to share in all the government institutions, not only on the side of internal security, but in civilian institutions. However, skepticism also persists.
Enrollment of some young people in the general security forces, without any guarantees to protect Afrin's communities and ensure the dignified and voluntary return of the displaced, is an irresponsible act.
Kurdish affairs analyst Vladimir van Wilgenberg noted that while the recruitment could improve the situation of Kurds in Afrin, success depends on whether Kurds will be appointed to leadership positions in the security forces and have any real say. Syria is preparing for its most significant economic reform since the civil war began. The country will issue new banknotes, removing 2 zeros from its currency in a dramatic attempt to restore confidence in the severely devalued Syrian pound. Central Bank Governor Abdelkader Husria confirmed the move on August 22nd, calling the revaluation a strategic pillar of fiscal and monetary reforms. According to Saudi broadcaster Al Arabiya, Husria described the new currency as a necessity.
We have formed committees with public and private banks and experts from the central bank to determine the requirements for changes in the currency.
The scale of Syria's monetary crisis is staggering. The Syrian pound has lost more than 99% of its value since the war erupted in 2011. Exchange rates now hover around £10,000 to the US dollar, compared to just 50 before the conflict began. This collapse has made daily life increasingly difficult, with families carrying black plastic bags containing at least half a kilogram of £5,000 notes just for weekly grocery shopping. According to documents reviewed by Reuters and 7 sources familiar with the matter, Syria's central bank informed private banks in mid-August of plans to issue new currency by removing zeros. The reform carries both practical and symbolic weight. Syrian economist Karim Shah acknowledged that replacing banknotes featuring Assad's image represents a necessary political shift. The rollout timeline is ambitious. Officials plan an information campaign before the formal launch of new notes on December 8th, marking the 1-year anniversary of Assad's ouster. A 12-month coexistence period will allow both old and new currency to circulate simultaneously. Yet challenges remain substantial. Shah warned the revaluation could confuse consumers, particularly the elderly, and noted gaps in territorial control that complicate nationwide implementation.
Syria could instead issue higher denominations of the same currency, say 20,000 or 50,000 pound notes, which would achieve similar goals while avoiding the substantial cost of a full currency overhaul, which could run into hundreds of millions of dollars.
As Syria navigates these parallel crises of security, identity, and economics, the new government faces the enormous task of building legitimacy across a fractured nation still healing from more than a decade of war.